Dear Destiny, I started this script 24 hours after the release of my 50-minute rant video about everything that is wrong with Bungie's mindset towards the development of Destiny 2. I made that video as a once passionate fan, a fan who is disappointed by the direction that his favorite game went in, a player who has felt completely jaded by your predatory practices. For me, it's not the monetization of the game that pisses me off, it's the extraction of a far greater resource: time. See, time is the greatest resource we have on this earth, and your game is specifically designed to keep you engaged for as long as possible. And that's fine as long as you're wanting to log in and play, but you manipulate players to play as regularly as possible. There's a big difference. You want us on the game each week for your precious metrics, and you make us play on your time, not ours. From Iron Banner to weekly nightfalls to limited time seasonal events to non-retroactive seasonal challenges to time-gated season passes, I see it clear as day. Truth be told, I always have. I have railed against time gating for over half a decade now. I've always hated it. And sadly, it has only gotten worse over time. But another truth is that I was addicted. I suffered from FOMO. I didn't want to miss any of those things because I knew those were moments I could never get back. So even if I didn't want to play, I begrudgingly booted up the game so that I could get that hit before it went away. But why did I do this? Why was I so addicted? Well, when I released that video about the terrible mindset that the leaders of Bungie have, it got over 1,200 comments in under 24 hours. And it happened to be football playoffs that Sunday, so I sat on my couch with my girlfriend, game on in the background, laptop on my lap, and I read. I read all the beautiful comments from so many people. So many people have sunk thousands of hours of time into this game that we have all loved at one point or another. To the people who commented on that video, thank you so much for sharing. One of the most beautiful things about being human is connecting with other people, having shared human experiences. I saw so many comments of people talking about their Destiny journeys. Some were D1 Alpha vets, enamored with the intrigue and mystery of this world of Destiny. Others hopped on much later in the journey, feeling spurned by the fact that they could no longer play content that other players got to experience. Or worse, content that they had previously paid for that now they can't go back and experience themselves. No Red War or Forsaken, no Leviathan Raid and Raid Lairs. They could only hear about the lore from Bife or watch YouTube videos of people's clears of the content that has long since been lost to the DCV. But they could never experience that for themselves, and others were relatively new players, unaware of the things that had transpired in the past to make long-term players feel so burnt out on the game. But one thing that was clear from all those comments is that this game touched a hell of a lot of people's lives. One of my clanmates met his wife through this game, as did the biggest D2 creator in Datto. Those are just two instances among many other similar stories that I've heard over the years, and that is a profound impact. Very few decisions you make affect the trajectory of your life more than who you choose to marry, and that is something that should be celebrated. I know in that video people dunked on the motto change at Bungie going from "we make games we want to play" to "we make games that inspire friendship," but I do think it is truly incredible how many lives this game has changed. Another amazing thing about Destiny is it came up at the same time as YouTube and streaming was becoming mainstream, at least gaming YouTube. So not only did people meet their future spouses, but this game also helped launch many careers. The Astacrosses and Dattos and Bifes and Cacuses of the world had their lives changed because of this game, among many others, myself included, but those are just some of the bigger creators in the Destiny sphere. But they didn't start creating content to make it a full-time job. They did it out of passion for something that they loved. They cared about the game and they wanted to share that care and passion with other like-minded individuals. They built successful careers, but they also built communities, and I think that's awesome. And on the streamer side, early pioneers of streaming like King Gothalion and Glad and Tfue all got their start with Destiny. I'm not big into watching Twitch, and I know there are others, but again, those are some that launched their streaming journeys thanks to this incredible game. And now to speak from my perspective. I was a D1 casual, but D2 really got its hooks into me. I was too busy partying and chasing girls to play much D1, but D2 launched at the perfect time in my life. I was getting more into gaming, and it too changed my life. I had become pretty good at the game and understanding the ins and outs of build crafting, and my homie Danny, after a year of prodding, finally convinced me to take up content creation. And while I wish I had started in 2019, I wasn't ready to. But when the pandemic hit, I guess the stars aligned, and I bought a PC and started my journey as a content creator. And I've loved it ever since. I always have far more video ideas than I do the time to make them. Even now that's the case, even though I'm fortunate enough to do it full time. I'm truly passionate about teaching people what I know about the game. Truth is, I don't know if I would have played this long if I didn't do content creation. And no, not because of the money. I don't make good money at all doing this compared to my last career. but because I truly enjoy helping people through my content, and I have Destiny to thank for taking me down this new career path. It has been such a fun journey and learning experience, from learning how to make thumbnails to editing videos to finding my voice and becoming a better writer. It has helped me grow in so many ways, and I could not be more grateful. I never had any ambitions of being a content creator. Hell, it even took my friend over a year of suggesting it before I finally took the plunge. But I only did it out of a burning passion and love for the game. Maybe it's because I've been consumed by Destiny 2 since 2018, but I truly don't know of any game that has impacted so many different people's lives in so many different ways. I'm sure games like World of Warcraft or League of Legends have as well, but I'm far less familiar with those communities. But I do know that the Destiny community has been affected greatly, and that is something that anyone who has ever worked on the game should be very proud of. To know that they made an impact on people's lives. I have made lifelong friends through this game. The two guys that I randomly met through LFG that helped carry me through comp to get Not Forgotten, I got to meet them in person in Nashville in 2022. Shout out Zach and Taylor. And those were the first guys I ever went to the Lighthouse with as well. I never went in D1 and I never went flawless in Trials of the Nine. So legit my first Lighthouse trip was also with those boys. And though they dropped Destiny 2, so I have drifted from them, they game a lot with the other circle of friends that I made through this game. I met Will and Paul in an LFG raid for Garden of Salvation and we just clicked. I joined their clan and we gamed together a bunch. We did Niobe Labs together, we got Conqueror the first season it was available, and that was such a rewarding feeling. We have a small Discord group and I chat with those guys via text more than I do most of my in real life friends. They are just great dudes. And when I went to PC, I sadly had to find some new people to play with since crossplay wasn't out yet. And that's when I met Pat and TJ and eventually Pete. And finally, after many years, we had a set raid team. And then Pete sort of moved on, and then through Armin GT's Discord server, I met Seth and Tim. And we had some great gaming memories as well. The point is, even though this game sucked up a ton of time in my life, I don't regret it. Because for every monotonous run of a haunted sector, those all built to moments that I will cherish. Getting Not Forgotten that first time, getting Conqueror for the first time, overcoming my first day one raid. So many great memories that I wouldn't have had if it weren't for those few flash in the pan moments, when I was having to go to LFG to get something done and wound up meeting people that I clicked with. And after reading so many comments, I know that so many people have had those same moments over the years as well, where they just clicked with some people and a lifelong friendship was born, and we all owe Destiny for that. I mentioned how Zach and Taylor now game with other guys like Will and Pete, and sadly I haven't got to join them, but I am excited to try out some new games one day and maybe play with those guys again, because Destiny and content creation has honestly prevented me from playing a lot of games that I want to play, and I don't say that out of spite, but it's just a fact. I was truly passionate about Destiny, and my will to play it and make content on it far exceeded my desire to play other games, but now that burning passion is no longer there, and that's okay. But I always said if I didn't feel passionate about the game, I would move on. I'm still passionate about content creation and teaching a community of gamers, so I will still make whatever content that I am passionate about. I made that 50-minute video on the state of the game not because I wanted views, but because I was passionate about the subject matter. I was trying to identify in myself why I wasn't in love with the game anymore, to try and make sense of where it all went wrong, what changed, be it in me or the game. And what was cool was my message in the video resonated with a lot of other people. It helped open their eyes to why they might be feeling the same way that I felt. And like I said, that shared experience and connection is a beautiful thing. I don't know what the future holds for my content creation journey or even my future with Destiny. I may never play it again, or I may get the itch and come back in a few months. I truly do not know. This is not an I'm quitting Destiny video. This is an appreciation video. A love letter to the game that changed my life and the lives of many others. If this is where our journey ends, then it's been a hell of a ride, and I just want to thank Bungie for creating such a unique and novel experience. 10 years is a long time to do anything, especially play a video game. And even though there were good times and bad, I wouldn't change a thing. So dear Destiny, thank you. Love Tizzle.